hear what happened last night? They always fighting.
She just wouldn't shut up.
What happened to the kids? No man would treat me like that. Sounded like a firecracker. None of my business. Seemed like a nice couple.
Why didn't she leave?
What you talking about? Say what? Didn't she run?
She didn't have to shoot him.
We don't need nothing like that around here. This is a quiet neighborhood. She was jealous.
Surprised something like that happened around here.
They always fighting.
Breaking news.
Why didn't she run?
A Jacksonville woman was arrested.
Alexander was convicted. She deserved it. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
Rico set her up.
Why didn't she run? She almost killed him. Why didn't she call the police? She just wouldn't shut up.
She just wouldn't shut up. Why, Marissa? Why, Marissa? Why, Marissa?
News for Jacksonville. Thank you, Maurice. And in an update in a case we've been following, Marissa Alexander, a 31-year-old mother of three, has just been sentenced to 20 years for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Alexander, now an inmate at the Duval County Jail in Jacksonville, Florida, said as she was being led handcuffed from the courtroom that she was defending herself from her estranged husband, Rico Gray, standing her ground from Rico Gray, who had been arrested before on charges of abusing her. Alexander is referring to Florida's so-called Stand Your Ground law, which has come under scrutiny since the killing of Trayvon Martin. What's that? Yes, we're getting word that the prosecutors, supporters, and those critical of Miss Alexander have gathered outside the courtroom for a press conference now in progress. Let's listen in. I'm going to do the CNN interview, just have them to call my chief of staff. I am Congresswoman Corrine Brown of the 3rd Congressional District, and this is a sad day. This is a shame, and my heart is so heavy. Marissa Alexander has a master's degree and never had any trouble with the law. But she is sentenced to 20 years. This is institutional racism, and she was overcharged. Now, you have to know that Sanford, Florida, where Trayvon Martin was killed, is also my district. She was overcharged. She was overcharged. And this is the beginning and not the end. Good afternoon, Congresswoman. It's so nice to see you. State Attorney Angela Corey, capital Corey, State Attorney for Duval County, Florida. And I appreciate each and every one of you members of the press coming out on this human afternoon to hear the true and relevant facts of the state versus Marissa Alexander. Excuse me, I am simply parched. Will one of my deputies run and give me some lemonade? Thank you, sugar. Now, Marissa Alexander and her ilk are lying through their teeth on social media. Social media is just going to be the destruction of this country. I declare, how dare people just repeat something without checking if it's true. Now, if there was a way for me to prosecute Marissa's family for what they are doing, spread all this misinformation, I would. Now, I just want y'all to remember this, that the United States Constitution does not say that we give trials by internet. We give trials by a jury of one's peers, and apparently this jury found an abiding guilt, which Florida law could rest its guilty verdict on. Thank you. Congresswoman, I just love your hat. Is it hot enough for you? It's perfect for summer. Only your news for Jacksonville. Well, we have a real hero, Betsy Cornell, mother of 3. Well, Bobby Harris was staring into Betsy Cornell's window while exposing himself. Well, Betsy Cornell, she jumped into action, grabbed her gun, and fired 3 shots. And Bobby Harris, he jumped on his bike, hopped the fence, and was later arrested. That Betsy Cornell, what a hero, protecting herself and her kids like that. Well, grab your umbrellas. Looks like rain's in the forecast, right, Mitch? What? What them people on TV say? Move out my way. Will you move out my way? Now, I don't know what news for talking about when a wild woman, Betsy Cornell, is lauded as some kind of a hero for firing warning shots at a peeping Tom, and the police don't even arrest her. I tell you, this criminal justice system, the stand your ground law is not working for oppressed people in Florida, not here or across the country, not for poor people, and definitely not for blacks. Well, Congresswoman, see, I'm not trying that case. I'm not trying that case at all. See, Marissa, she put a round in that chamber, and she fired that gun out of anger, not fear. She didn't need to use that gun. See, those kids were scared to death. They ran for their lives. I mean, she fired that gun towards the living room at an adult she was angry with. Now, she might have been angry at him, but what if that bullet had struck one of those 2 kids? Who would be crying for Marissa Alexander then? Who fights for those 2 young boys? Who fights for those 2 children? They didn't have a choice. Marissa made her decision. Now, y'all should know, just remember that my 2 prosecutors were willing to offer this woman a 3-year plea deal, and she rejected it. And by the way, how many of you have covered every minute of this trial from inside the courtroom? We send you a list every week of which cases are going to trial. How many of you have covered the entire trial so you can make your own determination? Y'all need to hear, y'all need to hear from Marissa's first husband, Mr. Lincoln Alexander. Well, he around here somewhere. Lincoln, come, Mr. Lincoln, come on up to the microphone and say what's on your heart, son. Now, don't be nervous. Thank you. Thank you for having me and publicizing this case. I am Marissa's first husband. We were married for 7 years. Well, at this point, I've known her for about 13 years. And even though our marriage ended, our friendship remained very strong. And I'll do what I can to help her. Now, Rico Gray, he admitted in his deposition that he lied when he said that Marissa had pointed the gun at him and his 2 kids. Rico said it never, ever happened. So I will do what I can to help Marissa through this injustice. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, Mr. Alexander, you're just misleading all these people in the media. And we think that part of the reason why people are all upset is because they think that Rico was coming towards Marissa and then she fired the gun into the steel. And that's not what happened. It's absolutely not true. And it's not supported or corroborated by the physical evidence. And if anybody can tell what happened, it's not the bloggers and the people on Twitter and Facebook. And Rico Gray, he's the real victim here, and y'all should hear from him. Where's Mr. Gray? Come on over here, Mr. Gray. I mean, what you want me to say? Well, I'm a hard-working guy who take care of his kids to the utmost. The national media. See, there's a lot of lies about me out there on the internet. And I never told my side of the story, not to CNN or nothing like that, because they out to get me. My side of the story is that Marissa, she just using the stand your ground because of the Trayvon incident. And I feel sorry for it and all, but I thought I was going to die that day right there in front of my kids. And I want to tell my side of the story. J Black Internet Black Channel, yes, right here, J Black, where you get it black and up in your face. Now, coming up in a radio exclusive, the man the whole world is waiting to hear from, Mr. Rico Gray, the husband of Marissa Alexander. Now, for all you new listeners, here at the Internet Black Channel, we don't have to abide by no fucking FCC regulations. So for me, this whole case ain't nothing but a straight up setup, man. Just like they did my main man, OJ and Mary and OJ Simpson, right? See, listen, nobody trying to listen to Mr. Rico Gray. I mean, not the mainstream media or them bootlickers like Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. I bet I'm the only one that call him directly, right? And so the white mainstream media has made a conscious, concerted effort to put Rico Gray like he's some green goblin, like he's some kind of a monster. Now, when George Zimmerman didn't use the stand your ground law, they looked around and found a black man to skewer. A 17-year-old black child was murdered, and that's how they found Marissa. Yeah, they were looking for a case to contradict, and that's how they found Marissa. And you see, people believe everything they read and hear, and put this good brother, Mr. Rico Gray, on trial instead of the accused. You know, to me, I'm going to ask him when he come up here, because I think she set him up to kill him and get him to take the rap for it. I'm going to ask him, did she have life insurance out on you, my brother? Before you order that omelet here on News 4 Jacksonville, we'll have breaking news on your cholesterol report. But first, in an update in a case we've been following regarding the state versus Marissa Alexander, we're at the Duval County Jail. Marissa, did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would be sentenced to 20 years in prison? Honestly, no. When I look back on my decision and my marriage to Rico, the only decision that I made was to love a man. But we were always at odds, and it seemed like I was the only one trying to make it work when I should have been loving myself. See, we met in 2007. My friend Tasha, she was having a Labor Day weekend backyard party in old school, and I said I wasn't gonna go. But I was feeling lonely, and but I didn't want to be bothered all at the same time. So, I was just going to work as a manager at the automated data processing and coming home and taking care of our kids. But my mom and my sister, they said it wasn't healthy for me to be stuck up in the house. So I arrived shortly after sundown, and people were dancing and eating Tasha's world famous potato salad. They were laughing and talking. People were doing the cha-cha slide in the backyard. And the music just felt good to me. Felt so good. And then a strong hand reached out and a deep voice invited me to the middle of the dancers. I stiffened, but then I let the stranger guide me, and Tasha was over there waving and winking from behind the barbecue grill. And I, was dancing, and I turned around and I was stared into this handsome stranger's calming greenish eyes. I was trying to see who he was talking to, and so, you really need to check on your carburetor. Yeah, I'm talking to you. What you know about my carburetor? I seen you at the 7-Eleven. You over there on Duval Road the other week. You at the gas pump, wearing this pink dress. You look good, but your car was making all this humming and whistling noise I thought was about to explode. Did Fred Flintstone used to own it? It's about 100 years old, isn't it, right? You have jokes, right? Well, my car may be 100 years old, but I don't like no car note, and at least it gets me to where I needed to go. Oh, really? So where is it that you needed to go so I can make sure you get there, safe and sound? Without intending to, I blush and I ease into his strong embrace. Until now, I was so sick of love songs, so sick of promises, so sick of not feeling protected. But Enrico's embrace and being the only couple slow dancing on the night of a summer moon in my best friend's backyard, it felt right. Yeah, Jay, I really appreciate you having me on your show. That was the Delphonics. That was the first slow dance me and Marissa ever had. I had never been in no radio or nothing like that before. I appreciate, being here. I could feel Marissa relaxing into my arms. I could tell she hadn't been with a man in a long time. She wasn't like the women I'm used to being with. The women I'm used to being with, they wear their hair natural. Marissa didn't, real smart, got a real small waist. All my 5 babies' mamas are stacked, man, just straight up stacked. But Marissa wasn't. But Tasha's husband gave me her phone number after that night, and we had a lot of good times laughing and talking. I told her I would take over to my buddy's car lot to look at some cars better than what she had, you know what I'm saying? But Marissa, she seemed like a real nice young lady, good head on her shoulder, take care of responsibilities. And she accepts me for what I am. See, I'm no office dude. I get my hands dirty for a living. I just graduated from high school, and she accepts all my 5 kids. And they take to her too, We have our differences, but we work them out. But I find myself falling for her even after I see she got a mouth on her. See, I would have married her even if she wasn't pregnant with our daughter. I married her because she was the one that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Yeah, I would have married her even if she wasn't pregnant with our daughter. But right after her divorce from Lincoln, we got married May, I think it was the 12th, 2010, we got married. And, we had the good times and talking, and we had some counseling, but soon we just put it behind us and we looked towards the future. And, within 3 weeks after we got married, when she would drop her kids off at Lincoln's, when she would leave our house, she would be wearing a wedding ring. But when she come home, she wouldn't be wearing her wedding ring. And come to find out, Marissa didn't want Lincoln or his family to know that we had remarried. Now, for me, that's just a slap in my face. That night, when all this happened, I had texted Marissa and told her that she can come and stay at my place. See, I travel on business about 3 and 4 times out of the week, so there's nothing going on with me and Marissa. I only wanted to offer a safe harbor for the mother of my children. But when Rico saw that Marissa had moved all of her belongings to her mother's house, that's what made Rico attack Marissa in the bathroom. Yeah, Marissa, she started disappearing for weeks, once for a month and a half. I don't know why. We didn't have any problems. Well, the only problem we had was that she wasn't wearing a wedding ring. And she said she was staying over at her mama's house, but I never seen her car over there. So other than that, we didn't have any other problems at all. We had plenty of problems. Out of nowhere, Rico started calling me a bitch and a whore. Out of nowhere, didn't want me to go nowhere. And every time I wanted to go over to Lincoln's to see my kids, Rico would accuse me of sleeping with Lincoln or any other Tom, Dick, and Harry. We had plenty of problems. J Black Internet Black Channel. Here live in the studio is Mr. Rico Gray. And I just want to just clarify some things, my brother. So Marissa already had children, right? And then you had children. Then you two had a baby girl, right? Okay. And then she was leaving instead during the week, coming back and forth to Lincoln's, right? See, some bitches, they just don't know how to treat a good brother. Just don't know how. Now, and see, if that had been me, Rico, can I call you Rico? Okay, so if that had been me, and my wife was disappearing for a week and a half, we would be headed to Judge Maybelline on divorce court, And so just to clarify another thing, and she didn't carry your name. Now see, there's something real suspicious about that, something real ominous, something real scandalous about that. What? And she had a gun. See, yes, we all like women who take good care of themselves, except it seemed to me that Marissa was just too eager. Am I wrong? Too eager, too prepared to take care of herself. Now I'm just trying to put this all together because to me, Marissa, she deserved that 20 years. Marissa, she deserved that. And I'm going through all these tweets and all these emails, brother, and you becoming the man. Give me fives, okay. Right there, the man. I'm getting tweets and emails from sisters. We love sisters. Sisters from all across the nation. And they just have one question. One question. How can they show a good man like you how to be treated? Only on News 4 Jacksonville. We have great feature coming up. Want to spice up your love life? Well, there's more ways than just a gift to show your loved one how much you care. We'll have great ideas to woo your love. But first, we have an exclusive statement for one of Rico Gray's past lovers. Let's listen in. Yana, my name is Tricia Anderson. Rico and I were married for 7 years. For 6.5 years, we fought. Oh, this here is Charity Hunter. We both got cheering by Rico. He hit both of us. Rico is very controlling, Your Honor. He picks fights. He hit me when I was pregnant, swung and hit me in my face. I didn't put him in jail because he was a drug dealer. We had a restraining order, and I stayed with him for my daughter's sake. He got me fired from my job and made up stories and told his kids to make up stories to defend him. And told Marissa, I want to fuck you up in public. I can only imagine what he did to her behind closed doors. Now, when I met Marissa, I hugged her because I believed my son was finally safe. She was a great stepmother to my children. Rico set her up. Marissa don't deserve none of this. Now, when Rico and I were together, Rico stabbed himself in the arm with a fork and told his youngest son to tell the police that I did it. He had me arrested 3 times because I fought back. He's the biggest lie I ever see. He makes you think that he's innocent. And when me and Charity, when we think of Marissa, we think that could have been one of us.
I have a hard time missing you, baby.
Hard time missing you, baby.
With my pistol in your mouth.
With my pistol in your mouth.
Have a hard time missing you, baby.
Hard time missing you, baby.
Pistol in your mouth.
With my pistol in your mouth.
You may be thinking about going north,
Maybe think about going north.
but your brains are staying south.
But your brains are staying south. You know, Jay, and again, I appreciate you having me on your show. You know, women just won't shut up. They won't shut up. You know, I hit Marissa in the mouth before. Another woman I was with got the same thing, popped her real good. And I think, you know, if my sons wasn't there that day, I would have put my hands on Marissa. You know, oh, I know. Yeah, I know I was begging and pleading for my life when she had the gun. But, you know, I was just so pissed. I was just so pissed because, you know, she just wouldn't shut up. You know, and they got the police on their side, right? They got the police on their side. So what I do, I be the first one to call 911. Because the first thing the cops are going to want to do is arrest the black man because women just won't shut up. They won't shut up. Only on News 4 Jacksonville, we'll have our expose on cruise ship horrors at a later date. But first, let's return to our intense press conference between Representative Corrine Brown and State Attorney Angela Corey. Let's listen in. Congresswoman, I look forward to sitting down and meeting with you. I met with Pastor Bell. Where is Pastor? Come over here. Yeah, and you know, I met with a group of leaders about a week ago, and we explained to them the system and the plea bargain that we had offered Marissa, and we explained to her that when she discharges a firearm towards human beings, that the legislature says that it's dangerous, and one of the reasons is because that bullet went through the wall and you know, where the children were standing. Now, and it happened to deflect up into the ceiling. Now, if it had deflected down and if it had hit one of those children, Miss Corey, what if the bullet didn't hit anyone? Now, I know that. Listen, I know that you are all upset now. I know that because if you had, I'm sorry. I can't hear the Congresswoman. I'm trying to listen to her. And if y'all don't be quiet, I'll have y'all arrested. Rico Gray never abused Marissa or anyone else. And if he did, it is not relevant to this case. Jay, what you gonna play now? Okay. Are we on commercial break right now? Okay. Well, I like James Brown's A Man's World. You got that? Put that on right now. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Well, we just waiting for the trial. I just dating and just seeing what was possible, But the way I was with women, I'll listen to it later on. But the way that I was with women, they never knew what I might do or what I might say, hit them or push them. I put my hands on all 5 of my baby's mamas, every last one of them. They never knew what I might do or what I might say. Never knew, right? But I think that if my kids wasn't there that day, I would have tried to take the gun away from Marissa. Yeah, I would have. But no gun was actually pointed at me. No gun was actually pointed towards me. But I do feel bad. I feel bad because, this mandatory minimums, I don't agree with. I don't agree with it at all because she could have a decent relationship with all her kids. She could have a decent relationship, but I don't make the laws. But if I had a magic wand, Marissa, she's already done her 3 years, and I would agree with her getting out on some kind of, probation or Marissa getting some type of help. She deserves that. Miss Corey, the fact is, if there ever was a stand your ground case, it's this one. No, now just listen to this, Miss Corey. Now, my feeling is that your office initially overcharged her. Now we got to focus on getting Marissa a new trial, and 20 years is no justification. I know we can't retry it here, but there's no justification for 20 years for Marissa Alexander. I mean, just last week, Miss Corey, Carl Cropman Jr. was allowed to use the stand your ground law in a road rage incident over there on the Bookman Bridge. Then there was a Marquell Woolbright out there in Ocala. And due to the stand your ground law, he was avoiding murder charges, Miss Corey. And Marquell shot and killed someone. Now, all the community is asking, Miss Corey, all the community is asking is for mercy and justice. And 20 years is no justice. Excuse me. Ms. Corey and Representative, thank you. I just want to intervene here. What people don't know is that Marissa was getting help at the Hubbard House in Jacksonville, Florida. She was seeing domestic and gender violence counselors at the time. Now, there was an active order of protection against RICO when Marissa discharged her registered firearm in the house. It was active. Now, what happens when women are about to leave the relationship? Things will get worse over time. And because the abuser sees that he no longer has control over her. And Rico testified in his deposition that things did get worse over time. And that's exactly what Mr. Alexander, now, I understand that what you are saying, and I know that you are all upset now, but see, what people choose to ignore is that when the judge released Marissa on bond pending a new trial, he clearly told her not to go over there and to avoid all contact with the victims. Well, 3 months later, she went over there and gave Rico Gray a black eye, and I got the police report, the testimony, and the photographs. Now, just wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. I just want to make sure you have all the facts now. She was arrested on domestic battery. And Marissa said that she wasn't even there, that she had an alibi. And finally, come to find out that she was there, and she pled guilty in court, and that's why Marissa was put back in jail. Marissa is not innocent. Miss Corey, Marissa went over there to get Rico to sign insurance papers for their baby. And then when she got there, Rico assaulted her again, and then he called the police and lied on her again, Miss Corey. Now, and plus, she had permission from her probation supervisor to go over there, Miss Corey. Now, what she was convicted for was the second incident. And that second incident, Miss Corey, has nothing to do with the first. Well, now it does now. It comes in because it's relevant now. It comes in because she violated the judge's order. And often, Marissa, probation, when she violated the judge's order, it's not anything that we can do because then everybody would just be in uproar. And then we said, okay, you violated the judge's order and you went back and you hit Rico Gray, but still we take a look at your mitigation, and we offered her a 3-year plea bargain. That's the 17 minus the 20, and 17 minus the 20 equals the 3 years. And we kept that offer open to Marissa until she chose to go before the jury. Now, you ask if I showed Marissa mercy. Oh, yes, I did. I surely did. Yes, I did. Angela Corey never showed me mercy. With Rico, I was always fighting. He's 100 pounds more than me. He caused me to go to the hospital before. And 6 days after I had given birth prematurely to our baby girl, I'm in the bathroom. And Rico, he comes in and he says, if he couldn't have me, that nobody would. And I said, Rico, come on now. Rico, get off. Rico, come on, get out the house, Rico. And he grabs me and he chokes me. And Rico, come on, Rico. And he throws me against the wall and I hit my head. And I pass out for a second. And when I come to, Rico is standing there with this blank look in his eyes. And I push the door open and he tries to get in and he chokes me and I run to the garage and I'm looking for my keys to get in my truck to drive away. Where are my keys? And the garage door won't open and I reach into the car seat and I grab my gun and Rico is standing there in the garage door and he says, bitch, I'll kill you. And I turn my head and I raise my arm and protect myself. I couldn't fight him. When Rico threatened that he was going to kill me, that's what I believe he absolutely was going to do. Had I not done what I did, I would not be here. And my heart goes out to my 2 stepsons. I really wish they hadn't seen none of this. But people ask, well, why didn't you run? Why didn't you flee my own home? Well, the law says I don't have to. And hadn't I done what I did, I would not be here. So, man, Jay, I'm going through a phone because I don't believe Marissa. She says she one place, she's another. So I'm going through a phone and checking her text message, and I see she's texting photos of our baby to Lincoln. So I follow her into the bathroom and say, so you sending photos? You sending photos to Lincoln? What you mean I ain't got no business going through your phone, bitch? Corey, Damon, put your shoes on. You just like all the other bitches, all the other whores. The baby's probably not even mine, is it? Not even mine, is it? And Marissa comes running out of the bathroom, runs out to the garage and grabs the gun and comes back with the gun. And my kids, they putting on their clothes and I'm not going to leave them there. And by the time I see them putting on their shoes, I see Marissa slide that bullet into the chamber. And I'm yelling and I'm pleading and I grab my kids and I put them in front of me and I shove them in front of me to protect me. And that's when I hear the gunshot and I run and we get out of that house.
We had an argument. I think we'll take Mrs. on the phone. She went to the car, got a gun, and shot. Okay, what that address? Is that in Duval County? Where were you shot at? I wasn't shot. She just shot and ran in by me. And me and my son, we had to run out of the house. Now, I'm not, neither one of us hit. She just ran and got a gun out of the car. Okay, so neither one of you were shot. She just shot at you. Is that correct? Yeah, she was shooting at me and my son. Okay, so you don't need any gun? No. What's your last name? But she's inside the house, right? She's inside the house with the door locked. Okay, you doing any kind of drugs or drinking or? No, not at this time, no. Okay, where are you at now? Me and my kids, we sat down the street. I left my car in the driveway. We was at the house. I can still see the house. Yeah, she's in the house. She got a, I don't know if she gonna try to leave. She got a gray Infiniti. A silver Infiniti truck, Q45, Q56 truck. It's in the garage. My car's in the driveway. When she went, how many shots did she fire? I heard one shot. One shot? Yes. And she got mad because I had her phone and she text messaging her ex-husband. And I brought that to her attention and she got mad. Do you know what kind of gun it was that she had? She got I think it's a 45. Is that the only one she's got? She got a shotgun, I don't know where it's at, but the handgun, she, you know what I'm saying, she said she's sick of this shit. And she proceeded to go out the garage door. When her truck is in the garage, she got the gun out the door bar, and that's when she keep it, came back in the house.
Miss Corey, Rico said that he shoved his kids in front of him. What kind of a man does that? And the key phrase on his 911 call was, "I'm pissed." Didn't sound scared to me, Miss Corey. Now, SpongeBob. SpongeBob is the secret code that Marissa had given our children. SpongeBob means to call 911. See, Marissa kept her abuse to herself, but about a year ago, she had Rico had grabbed her and choked her to the point that she couldn't hear or see, and she couldn't swallow, and she lost 7 pounds. Then a few months later, Rico grabbed her and threw her into the bathtub. She was transported by ambulance to Shands Hospital. She suffered multiple contusions, Miss Corey. Oh yes, Rico was arrested for this, and Marissa got an order of protection, but then later she dropped it when she learned that she was pregnant with their daughter. Now, after they got married, things got worse. Now, Marissa, she believes that out of her love for Rico, that it was best for her to leave the relationship, Miss Corey. And so that's why she had been living at her mother's house for the last couple of months, because the doctor said she really needed to reduce her stress level. Breaking news, only on News 4 Jacksonville. We interrupt this regularly scheduled program for a late-breaking announcement in the case of the state versus Marissa Alexander. Joining us live is Representative Corrine Brown. I am pleased to announce that Florida's First District Court of Appeals has granted Marissa Alexander a new trial. The state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant did not act in self-defense. The defendant must not prove anything. Yes, I am very, very pleased that Marissa Alexander will have another attempt at defending herself. I am very, very pleased. Oh my God. When my attorneys told me that I had been granted a new trial, I thought I was dreaming. I mean, even though I've been released on house arrest and I could still feel the handcuffs on my wrists, at least now I could feel the Florida sun on my skin, and I could hold my babies and my family and my supporters. I just want to extend my heartfelt and sincerest gratitude to each and every person who supported me through this time. Every thought of me, every prayer for me, every donation and other selfless acts on my behalf on many days kept my spirits lifted. And I thank you. And I'm praying for all of you too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Only on News 4 Jacksonville, we have received a response from State Attorney Angela Corey's office, where she says, quote, "We are disappointed by the court's ruling, but we stand ready to retry Marissa Alexander." And now in sports, grab your pom-poms. The Jacksonville Jaguars are having cheerleading tryouts.
It just
Florida Governor Rick Scott signs Stand Your Ground Reform Law on June 20th, 2014. Does not apply retroactively for Marissa Alexander. Marissa Alexander's second trial is scheduled for December 8th, 2014. If convicted, State Attorney Angela Corey seeks a 60-year mandatory sentence to be served consecutively.